Joel Embiid is back, and the 76ers look ready to go on a run. And Luka Doncic continues to put up crazy numbers, while the Mavericks can't stop winning. But is it enough for the MVP? I will talk about all of that and more on Hoops Weekly Rewind, a show that will recap the last week in the NBA in 12 minutes or less. Be sure to stick around for player awards and my MVP rankings. The hottest team in the NBA right now is the Dallas Mavericks. They went 5-0 last week, and they're 16-2 in their last 18, with Luka Doncic averaging over a 31-point triple-double in those games. They beat a red-hot Warriors team at home and also beat the Heat in Miami. They're still in 5th place in the West because the teams ahead of them also keep winning, but they've locked up a top 5 seed, and they're only a game back from the Clippers with a few to go. The Philadelphia 76ers are on the right trajectory again, as they went 4-0, and they're currently on a 6-game win streak. Joel Embiid is back from his injury, and he played in 4 of those 6 wins, averaging 30 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. The Indiana Pacers had a great week, finishing 3-0. They beat Oklahoma City without Shea, and also Miami, and TJ McConnell was the standout, averaging 18 points and 7 assists in only 23 minutes per game. The team above the Mavericks, the LA Clippers, went 4-1, and they beat 3 playoff teams, the Nuggets, Cavaliers, and the Phoenix Suns. And their only loss was another game against Phoenix, but it was without Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook. They're only a win or 2 away from locking up the 4 seed and home court against the Dallas Mavericks in the playoffs. The Nuggets, Warriors, Thunder, and Knicks all went 3-1. And the Nuggets only need to beat San Antonio and Memphis for the Western Conference 1 seed. The Warriors are locked in as a play-in team, but they're half a game behind the Lakers and only 1 game behind the Kings. Oklahoma City has the same record as the 2 seed Timberwolves, but Minnesota owns the tiebreaker, so chances are they're going to be the 2 or 3 seed. But they still have a shot at the 1 seed as well. The Knicks are currently the 3 seed, but they're only half a game ahead of the Cavaliers. Now for the losing side of things, the Orlando Magic went 1-3, and they only played 1 playoff team, which was Milwaukee. They're currently the Eastern Conference 5 seed, but they're only 1 game ahead of the 7th place 76ers and 1 game behind the Cavaliers. Chances are they'll finish as the 5 seed. The Sacramento Kings went 1-3, but they lost to 3 of the best teams in the NBA, the Knicks, Celtics, and Thunder. It looks like they're going to be the 8 seed at best, but they're only half a game ahead of the Lakers and 1 game ahead of the Warriors. Moving on to some notable player performances. Shout out Pete Davidson for his. Bones Highland from the LA Clippers dropped 37 points, 4 rebounds, 9 assists, and 3 steals on 52% from the field and 6 of 12 from 3. This came in their loss against Phoenix in the game without any of their stars, but I wanted to point this game out because he hasn't gotten much playing time, and it's impressive that he took advantage of it when he got the chance. My last notable performance came from Brandon Miller. He's in the running for my Rookie of the Week, and this performance greatly boosted it. He dropped 32 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists on 11 for 13 from the field, in a win over Orlando, 124-115. He's had such an underrated rookie season. He's just really fun to watch.
Holder in Cleveland. Oh! What?
I hope people give him the props he deserves. Moving on to the Hoop Aesthetic Weekly Awards. My Rookie of the Week was Victor Wembanyama. The Spurs won an impressive 2-1 in the games he played, and he averaged absurd numbers of 23 points, 12 rebounds, 7 assists, and 6 blocks on extremely efficient 49%, 38%, 91% shooting splits. He also added on this insane Eurostep move, along with many other crazy highlights. Nike's starting to focus on promoting him, and I think that'll turn out to be the right decision. This guy really is an alien. My surprise player of the week is Deni Avdija from the Washington Wizards. The Wizards went 0-3, but he averaged being a plus 2.7 in 38 minutes per game. And he averaged 23, 9, and 3, along with 3 steals plus blocks. And he also did it very efficiently. He's an extremely underrated player, and he's also having a very underrated season, averaging 14.5 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists. I think Washington will want to keep him, but for some contenders, Deni Avdija could be that missing piece in the future. Now on to the players of the week. The Eastern Conference winner is Jalen Brunson from the New York Knicks. He led the Knicks to a 3-1 record by averaging 39.5 points, 4 rebounds, 9.5 assists, and a steal and a half per game, shooting 52% from the field, 43% from 3, and 88% from the line. He didn't score less than 35 points in those 4 games. Honestly, a very underrated MVP resume this season. The Western Conference Player of the Week is Nikola Jokic. But shout out to Luka, who averaged a 33-point triple-double. The Nuggets went 3-1, and he averaged 31 points, 14 rebounds, and 9 assists per game, on crazy efficiency at 62% from the field and 60% from 3. He had a standout performance in a huge game against the Timberwolves. Both teams were tied for the 1 seed going into the game, and he ended up scoring 41 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists, and 3 steals. But the craziest part about it was that he was 16 for 20 from the field. Keep in mind, he went up against the likely Defensive Player of the Year, Rudy Gobert, in this game. When he is focused and passionate, there's no one in this world that can guard him, and I can't wait to see him take over in the playoffs again. Let's move on to discuss my MVP rankings. I have to preface this by saying, this year, there are so many worthy MVP candidates. It was hard enough to narrow it to 3, and it's even harder to pick the winner. But in third place, from the Oklahoma City Thunder, I have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. The Thunder went 55-25, but 53-20 with Shai playing. He's averaging over 30 points, 5.5 rebounds, and over 6 assists per game, as well as leading the league in steals, averaging 2.1 per game. He's also insanely efficient, especially for a guard, at about 54, 37, 87%. He also has the most 30-point games since James Harden's iconic 2019 season. The Thunder are locked into a top 3 seed in the stacked Western Conference, and Shai is the focal point of their team. He has an amazing MVP case, but the 2 guys ahead of him, I just believe are a bit above his level as of now. But what an incredible season from him, and I know Thunder fans are so excited for their future. In second place, Luka Doncic from the Dallas Mavericks. The Mavericks went 46-24 with Luka and 4-6 without him. And his numbers are straight out of a video game, as he's averaging 34 points, over 9 rebounds, and just about 10 assists per game, along with a steal and a half per game and 49%, 38%, 79% shooting splits. He leads the league in points, and this is the first 39-9 season in NBA history. He's also top 3 in assists and 3-pointers, and he has the most points plus rebounds plus assists per game since the NBA merger. He's truly having a historic season, and if the Mavericks made some moves to help him earlier on, I think that he could have been a top 3-4 seed, and he probably would have won the MVP. My 2024 NBA MVP is Nikola Jokic. The Nuggets are 54-23 with Jokic playing, and he's averaged 26.5 points, 12.5 rebounds, and 9 assists, pairing it with almost a steal and a half per game and just about a block, on 58% from the field, 36% from 3, and 82% from the line. He's leading the current 1 seed Denver Nuggets in points, rebounds, and assists. He's top 2 in the NBA in double-doubles and triple-doubles, and the only player in the league who's top 5 in points, rebounds, and assists. Luka Doncic is going to get his time, but Jokic being the 1 seed, being healthy the entire year, and putting up historic stat lines whenever he's needed to in big games, I think he deserves his 3rd MVP this season. I fully believe that him and Luka are going to turn on a whole nother level in the playoffs though. Now on to some just random NBA news. Giannis Antetokounmpo suffered a left calf strain, but people were scared that it was an Achilles tendon. He will miss the rest of the regular season. Hopefully he'll be back for the first round in the playoffs because they're going to have a tough first round matchup and Milwaukee needs him, but I'm thankful that it wasn't a huge injury. Domantas Sabonis from the Sacramento Kings had the 7th longest double-double streak in NBA history, and it ended this past week at 61 games. He's having an amazing year, leading the NBA in double-doubles, and currently right with Jokic for the triple-double lead. And lastly, the Celtics and Bucks combined for a record low 2 free throw attempts in a game last Tuesday. The previous record was set in 2019 with 11 free throw attempts. And the Milwaukee Bucks only committed 4 fouls on Tuesday, the fewest in NBA history. Here are some games to watch out for in the last week of the NBA regular season. First up, the Philadelphia 76ers at the Orlando Magic on Friday, April 12th. As I previously mentioned, the 76ers are 7th place in the East, but only 1 game behind the Magic for 5th place. This game has huge seeding implications. It's going to have a playoff-like atmosphere, must watch. The Indiana Pacers are taking on the Cavaliers in Cleveland, also on Friday, April 12th. Similarly to the first game, the Indiana Pacers are in 6th place and only 1 game behind the Cavaliers, who are in 4th. Both of these games Friday night will matter a ton for the Eastern Conference seeding. Last up, the Phoenix Suns traveling to Minnesota to take on the Timberwolves on Sunday, April 14th. The Timberwolves can still get the 1 seed if the Nuggets lose just 1 game, and the Suns are still fighting to stay out of the play-in. This is a matchup between 2 great teams, and both of them have to go hard for seeding. It should be a great game. Thank you for watching this week's episode of Hoops Weekly Rewind. Please like and subscribe as that will help my channel out a ton. And I'll be back next week for my NBA playoff predictions. Let's go, baby.